Hey, Dr. Karen Can here. Welcome to another edition of the Spiritual Medicine Digest. And I'm so looking forward to sharing this story about the Best Acupuncturist Award. Okay, so I get a call today, and the gal who takes photos every year of the winners of the Best of the Mountains categories here in the Adirondacks. There's like Best Garage, Best Acupuncturist, Best Dentist, Best mail carrier. I mean, the list goes on and on. So she calls and says, well, congratulations, you won again. And I'm like, wow, well, thank you. And she says, well, we want to come by and take your picture. So I'm like, okay, great. So I'm texting my assistant, Michael. I said, where's something nice? We're going to have our pictures taken. So she comes by and she takes our picture, and so she gives us our certificate, and I look at the certificate. She goes, we want to make sure that the name's correct in the paper. And so I look at the certificate, and I realize when I'm looking at the certificate that the name of the business on there is not the name of my business. She had given me someone else's first prize. Yeah. So luckily, I know that person who owns that business. So I said to her, I said, do you realize this isn't my business name? That you gave first prize to the wrong person? And she looked horrified, poor gal, horrified. And she's like, what? And she's looking through her notes. And I said, this is Kim's business. And she goes, well, I saw the word integrative, and I thought I just assumed it was you. I said, well, we've had the name Integrative Medicine Acupuncture longer than Kim's Adirondack Integrative Health, but I said there's nothing wrong with, two businesses having similar names. If she chose integrative, so what? That's what she does, And she's like, I don't even know who this is. I said, like, she's up the road, Anyway, so I said, I hope at least, I got third, and she's looking like, yes, you got third. So Kim Verstrain got number 1, Christina Windhorst, my friend next door, got number 2, and I got number 3. And so you'd think like, okay, why are you so happy about this? Okay, so just hear me out. Okay, so first of all, we straightened all that out, and so she could get their certificates to the right person. She could take the right person's picture. Of course, Michael and I still got a picture together because we were dressed nicely, and hey, I thought it looked pretty cool. Check out our Facebook and check out the photo. But why am I happy about this? Well, number 1, I did not aspire to win Best Acupuncturist. Now, I've won it several years in a row, and the other 2 gals haven't even been on the docket, which I thought was really sad. Okay, now I'm not here to rescue anybody or anything like that, but like I said, I'm not aspiring to be the best acupuncturist. If they had a category for like best spiritual medicine person or holistic health transformational doctor or, the best expert to heal entities or something like that, then yeah, I think I should be number 1, right? But acupuncture is a tool that I use, but it's not me. That's not my magic. I don't need nor want to be the best acupuncturist or even recognized for that. I mean, it's cool, but it's not important. The other thing too is that, hey, I didn't even vote for myself this year. Every year, my friend Bronwyn, brings us the paper. She's so sweet. Brings us the paper. And I don't read the paper either. So she brings us the local paper and she says, here, vote for yourself. She gives one to Michael and extra one for my husband. So we start, I kind of like go through the motions. Okay, vote for myself and, vote for my friends and colleagues and stuff like that. But they have a lot of categories missing in there. Like I can't even vote for the best yoga studio. And how many yoga studios do we have in this area? A ton. And it's not even on there. Maybe it was this year. I don't know because I didn't vote, so I don't know. Anyway, so, I mentioned it to them like, hey, there's some categories I'd really like to, put my friends and colleagues in there, but you don't have them. So it's like, this whole contest is not actually in alignment with my energies. And so in other words, I'm not resonating with it. And, other people have said, oh, it's a popularity contest, yada, yada. And yeah, maybe, but I basically have like 20 local patients left. That's it. Everybody else is remote clients all over the world online, hundreds of people. So, even if those 20 people didn't vote for me, I didn't vote for me. So why should you vote for me? So when things aren't in alignment, then this is the result, and that's okay. I don't want to force it. I don't want to force it to be like, oh, I need to win number one because it's irrelevant. It's irrelevant. So why am I happy though? I'm like, you know what? I'm happy because number one, I don't I can see that I'm totally not attached to winning. This is very good for a recovering perfectionist like me. Yeah, very good. So for those of you recovering perfectionists, you know what I'm talking about, right? And those achievers out there that have to be number one all the time. Okay, so you know what I'm talking about. Number two, I'm like, why not share the love? In fact, my friend Christina, who won second when Horse Acupuncture, came in the office to take a look at the office because she's expanding. And maybe she can share space with us. So the new paradigm of the world is not competition, and I've never been pro competition. Yes, I do go to competitions, but it's really competition with myself. Not even a competition, but it's really a self-growth thing. It's not about beating someone else. I know so much of the world is about competitions and Olympic medals and everything like that, but the new paradigm of the world is collaboration, not competition. So get this. So Christina wins second, Kim wins first, and I'm thrilled. And part of it is because I've been referring new patients to them for the last 6 or 8 months. Yeah, because I closed my practice to new people. I mean, you have to pretty much fit into this tiny little box, as in like this is the type of person that is appropriate for my practice. It's a very specialized, practice. So helping this specialized niche of people. I don't help everyone with everything. You got a leg pain, a knee pain, you want acupuncture, and you want to come to me for that? I'm like, no, no. Now you're a sensitive soul and you have knee pain and you're overwhelmed, with all the energies you're feeling. You're a light warrior. Maybe you already know you're an earth angel or a starseed or something like that. You can't navigate what's your life purpose. You're confused, you're frustrated, you feel alone, you don't have a tribe. Okay. That's my folks. That's my person, but if you have a knee pain and you're not willing to change your diet, not willing to look at the spiritual side, you're not willing to clear your emotions, that is not for me, So I refer all new patients, pretty much, to both Kim and, to Christina. So I'm thrilled that not only are they on the docket this year, they won first and second, and I won third. And I feel like I had a role in them winning first and second. So how cool is that? Like, most people didn't even know we had 3 acupuncturists in town. Like, duh, like, yay. Now they do. This is really, really awesome. Now, so sharing the love. Collaboration, not competition. So the other thing I wanted to share with you, which I didn't get a chance to do after my adult nationals competition and the results, I won a bronze and platinum. And thank you everyone for your congratulations and, kudos, and I thank you so, so much. I really, really appreciate that. Now, here's the thing. Why am I grateful that I did not win gold medals? Now, that was a little tougher, okay, to like kind of go, because honestly, I expected to win gold because I do, and last time, 8 years ago, won a gold in pairs, won a gold in my singles. What was very fascinating is that having been away from competition for 8 years, guess what? Things evolve and things change. I did not know what it took to win gold in the categories that I was in because these were brand new categories for me. I did not go in, we didn't do pairs. And the interpretive category where I won gold hands down, where I skated very well and had, a pretty costume and, interpreted the music well, they don't have that event anymore. So they have what's called dramatic and light entertainment. Well, I thought to myself this year, I've never done comedy. Comedy is a real stretch for me. I tend to be very graceful and, that kind of thing, and that's easy for me. But I thought I'm going to challenge myself. I'm going to do something hard. I'm going to do 2 programs that are hard. Well, harder for me. One is a Latin number because I love that piece of music and it's very sharp. And for someone who's very graceful and balletic, it's kind of challenging. The second one, crazy, where I'm in a straitjacket, where yes, it was a little difficult to skate with my arms tied to my side for half the program. And then into this, transformation into this happy-go-lucky, person in the program. So it was definitely a stretch for me. And what I realized after the program, like after I skated, was to win the dance competition, I needed to be technically better because the two gals, well, three people that got first, second, and third technically were better. And performance-wise, my coach thought I did, maybe she's biased, but she thought I did wonderfully, and she was shocked that I didn't win top three. Okay. But looking back, I was like, wow, I didn't know that's what we needed to win that event. It was the first ever event at Adult Nationals, solo bronze dance. But now we have that information. That's what it takes. Better technicality, more speed. So what, if people didn't express themselves or whatever, but that's not what won it. It was the technical that won it. So now we know we have additional information. How cool is that? The other cool thing about not winning that event was I got to see some, and my Unlock Your Superpowers folks, I know you know exactly what I'm talking about, okay, the folks that are in my Unlock Your Superpowers program, because a tiny, tiny, tiny little judgment came up. I didn't quite catch it, but, well, I did after I didn't win. So there was a gal in my group who is a much, much higher level skater than I am, skated as a child, I believe, so she's very graceful, technically very, very good. And I had some judgments that I didn't realize were still there. And I realized that the universe is trying to show me my judgments, show me where I'm still not abundant. And these were old judgments that I had not cleared. These were judgments about this person who was, rather quiet and reserved. And so, I like to be, friendly and whatever. So the eye contact, I could never get her attention to say hello or how are you? And, after all, all these years of competing, and she's at this very, very high level. So I never really competed with her before, but always admired her skating. And so I had a little bit of that judgment. It wasn't big, but it was still there. And the universe wanted to show me, hey, there's still a little low vibration judgment that you have about her. That maybe she's not as friendly as you would like her to be or whatever, So that was a great learning for that. The second thing, multiple things, but the other thing was that I got to practice self-compassion, whereas before I would have been really hard on myself for not winning gold. Yes, us recovering perfectionists are hard on ourselves for not winning gold. Number one, I got to appreciate myself for being courageous to enter the competition, which my heart really wanted to do it, but my body wasn't in any shape to really do it at the time when I decided to do it. So literally, we finished the choreography 2 weeks before the actual competition. Most people wouldn't be quite so crazy. They would be practicing it for the whole year before the competition, but James and I, we did our singles program. We learned, I did too. We learned it very, very quickly from January. At the time, I was having knee swelling and pain, which I knew was going to be temporary, that God told me it was going to be temporary. And I really didn't know how I was going to technically do it, but my heart said, do it, So I'm like, okay, I'm waiting for the miracle here. And you know what? It happened. The miracle happened. I was able to skate pain-free. The swelling went down. All these amazing learnings about, swelling and autoimmunity and all the stuff I got to learn and help other people with, I got the benefits of that. And I was able to do these programs despite the very short time to train them and not having done any competition for 8 years. So I got to appreciate myself, and I'm thinking that is pretty darn cool. And, I learned that the universe is always upping the ante. So having my past experiences and past success has nothing to do with my future. Well, what I'm saying is it's nothing to do with what we're going to come up with in the future. So if you think I've got the formula now, I've got the formula how to win, I've got the formula to be successful, and you kind of ride that, the universe is going to let you do that for a little bit of time. And those of us, especially in the teaching profession, here to share, teaching with others, we get put on the fast track, meaning that we have to learn faster and we have to evolve fast, fast, fast. So my old formula of how you manifest, gold medal, whatever, it worked then, but it didn't work this time because I'm a different person and other things are expected of me, So the universe is up in the ante. So don't get too comfortable. I'm not saying don't enjoy your success, absolutely, but just know that the universe is always going to push you to grow. It's not going to let you sit on your laurels at all. And the one thing I want to tell you about, after the solo dance, where I won a pewter, and this gal, who got the top medal, Colleen, who I thought was overly reserved, and I judged her for that in the past and didn't catch that judgment, is that at the podium, we got to make eye contact, and we hugged each other, and I thought, wow. So for years, I felt, I guess, unrecognized or something. But now we finally get this chance to compete with each other, which normally we would never, because she's a very high level skater and I'm not at that level. But that moment that we hugged each other, I thought, wow, we actually have a relationship now. How cool is that? So I'm so grateful for the entire experience. And thank you, universe, for teaching me all these wonderful lessons. I was thinking I wasn't going to cry today. Okay, but I'm happy. News on the spiritual front. So a couple of things I want to share with you what's going on. Lots of things going on. A lot of healing happening for soul destiny partners. Okay, those are like people that are you have a contract with to help. Now, sometimes it's them helping you, but the problems have been, as far as our symptoms, especially us sensitives, is that we often have been feeling their stuff. And not just in this timeline, we're feeling our soul destiny partner stuff from alternate timelines as well. I know it sounds very weird, especially if you're new to my Spiritual Medicine Digest, talking about parallel timelines, alternate timelines, things like that. But, for the last week, I've been working on one version of myself, that they're in the other alternate timeline, my friend, a Lemurian, which is an alien, was having trouble. So I kept sending healing, and then my symptoms would get better, and then another symptom would crop up, and then I'd have to send healing again. And so I decided I was going to create a morphic field to automatically help heal our soul destiny partner. So this is still in progress. So we're expanding, evolving this field so that less and less of you will have to feel your soul destiny partner stuff. Now, my understanding is, we do get to feel their stuff if we are responsible for healing them or helping them heal, because that's the contract. However, that's pretty overwhelming if you've got, 1,000 other lives and 1,000 other soul destiny partners, and maybe they're feeling their soul destiny partners who might not be you, and you're feeling their stuff too. So us sensitives have to deal with that kind of stuff. So just know that if you're feeling some like long protracted illness or something that hasn't been getting better, that if you do divine muscle testing, which we teach in the Light Warrior Advanced Healing Program, that yes, check if it's really your stuff. How much is it your stuff? What percentage out of 100%? And then check, does this belong to any of my soul destiny partners in any timelines? And, and if it does, then let's ask if there's something that you need to do. In this case, do you need to send healing to them or whatever? So I'm just saying I've created new morphic fields to do this automatically. They're already in my MP3s that I've already created. So all you need to do is just make that intention. Say, hey, go ahead and heal my soul destiny partners and all symptoms related to them. And by the way, I don't really want to feel these if I don't have to. So work that into, guys, tell the God team. The other amazing thing, I think it's amazing, is extra knowledge about 0 point. Now, 0 point, some people call that God, source, the creative place where creation begins, 0 point. So it's out of nothing becomes creation. So this 0 point access I spoke about in other videos can be accessed with this place of stillness, that when some people are tired like I was last week, you can sometimes access that much easier in that state, and that what I call healing mode or parasympathetic. People will do yoga, people will do meditation to get into that parasympathetic response. Why? Because that's actually where you can connect to the creator and seed your creation of your new reality. So I was practicing some of that, and what was fascinating was the message came through that this 0 point has a physical location mapped to our physical bodies, and that you can like activate that point, like there's an access point. So we're calling it the 0 point access. And what's fascinating as well is I was guided to do some healing related to that, to evolve it. So I'm like, okay, so what am I supposed to be doing? So this access point was to be evolved, and I was supposed to help out with this evolution. So apparently, according to source, approximately 8% of the human population, at least at the time that I checked, 8% of the time, 8% of the human population have the ability to connect to source, that creative force, through this access point, and manifest what we would consider positive realities and negative realities. In other words, that 8% of people had that capability to connect this way and create havoc if they really wanted to. And what was really fascinating was that I was in that 8% now. So I did, basically have the quote unquote power to change reality to positive or negative for, myself and other people. So the healing of the evolution about this access point was to put some sort of safety valve, so to speak, so that those 8%, okay, that there were 3% that actually were trained to manifest negative things, to be able to get to the creative force and manifest negative. I know some of you are like, wait, if you're connecting to source, you should be high vibration. Doesn't mean you're a good person. Honestly, 0 point doesn't care whether, no, seriously, 0 point does not care per se what you choose to manifest, except that that's your choice. The universe just responds to what you are creating with your minds, with your beliefs, and that kinds of things. So there's not like a judgment about it. So yeah, there are a small percentage of people, which is still a heck of a lot of people, that have been trained to be able to connect to 0 point and manifest negative things. So the evolution was to create some sort of safety valve so that 8%, including myself, can only manifest that which is a light score of 90% or higher intention. So intentions that are 90% light score or higher can manifest, not any lower. And that segues into the recent ascension cycles that we've been having, which seems to me like about 9 days of the expansion cycle. Now, normally, I thought the ascension cycles were going really fast. So we would go to expansion, then rising, then resistance, then integration, and start the whole cycle again. But this one seems to be going on and on and on, this expansion cycle. So when this expansion occurs, we get tapped into higher dimensional energies, and they get tapped into us. Now, currently at the higher dimensional energies we are being faced with, there's still some polarity there, meaning that there is still higher dimensional energies that are very, very powerful and strong and positive, and yet there are some that are very, very powerful and so-called negative. I don't really know why it's so, anyway, but so at this level, and I didn't really, really keep track of the ascension cycle because it comes and goes so quickly. But apparently the universe is really trying to get my attention. So I was having all sorts of weird electronic problems. And in the past, I would be like, entities alert, right? So when that happened, this time around, I felt into it and I thought, something is trying to tell me something, but I'm not sure what it is. So I checked the light score of this happening to me. Why is it my websites? Why is it, like even today, I'm on my iPhone, right? I can't connect to the internet, and James can, and he's got a cell phone. We're in the same household, same Wi-Fi. I can't connect, he can connect, right? So somebody's trying to tell me a message. So I get the light score of this happening to me was like a 98%, which means that it's like the universe tapping me on the shoulder, like, you got another job to do and you got to figure out what it is. Okay, so I was like, okay, what is it that you want me to do? So this is the answer. So when we open up to these higher dimensional energies, what I got was that at this level that we're opening up to, that matter can be manipulated much more quickly. Now, we kind of know, if you're in the spiritual world for a while, that that's where we're going to. We're going to a place where we're going to become and can be completely light bodies, physically as well as, energetically, which means that you can heal in a snap. Break your bone, boom, you healed in a snap. And some of you who are starseeds remember that on some level, that instant healing. So, and you think, well, that's good, right? But guess what? At these higher dimensional energies, you can also have negative intentions of matter manipulation. So my job apparently was to create another stop, governor, something like that, filter, so that only intentions in this reality where we are shared together, only intentions of a light score of 90% or higher can be matter manipulated in this way, unless it's for the highest good to experience whatever it is, the negative stuff. And so far, so good. My electronics have been fixed. Yeah, I mean, it was pretty weird. Like last night, like I was on From Heartache to Joy doing soul typings, and it was like my screen was going through this dimmer, brighter, dimmer, brighter. It was so weird. And then this morning, same thing with my cell phone. Wasn't happening to James's cell phone. Dimmer, brighter, dimmer. It was like, okay, let me try to figure that. So some of this is pretty hard to figure out, I got to tell you. A lot of questions I got to ask. I got to double, triple check leading energies. I got to double, triple check that I'm connected to, one and only true source the whole time. So I'm getting the correct answer. Yeah, so that was a pretty challenging one. And the computer stuff is I thought at first it was what we call dimensional dissonance, where if you recall back in, I think it was October 2017, we had like a whole bunch of like supposedly worldwide hacking of all these important places like CNN and Reddit and like PayPal, like that. They thought, oh my gosh, somebody hacked all these big, huge companies with all the security all at once. How could this happen? And they never really came up with a great answer. I did, but I'm not sure anybody would believe me, except maybe you guys. But it was related to dimensional dissonance. So dimensional dissonance, which there's some still going on here, but not from attacks. But the dimensional dissonance is basically you can have, we'll say alien species, they can actually blast our servers with like multiple dimensions. So alien bodies of that level can actually traverse multiple dimensions and not be harmed. It's normal for them that you might not be able to see them. They could be in your household because they can shift dimensions like that, sometimes make it so that you can see them, other times you can't. So they do this dimensionality thing very easily. However, as humans and even our hardware and computers, that is new stuff for them. So it's like when they blasted these servers with multiple dimensions at once, they're actually not physically harming the servers, and it's not actually a hack in that they're trying to get data, but what it is that it causes the server to literally freeze. Like it's like, one component of the computer is like in the 7th dimension, another component of the computer is actually in the 8th, and another one's in the 5th, and another one's in the 12th, and they're like, they can't talk to each other. And that can happen to our bodies as well. We actually found some people that, their vagus nerve was in the, 10th dimension, and their thyroid and everything else was in the 5th dimension. So we call that dimensional dissonance. And so there are ways through Topicane healing where we can, first of all, check if that's a problem. And some of my, regular clients have a sense of when that's happening. They know what symptom they have. Like sometimes it's like this weird brain thing that happens and they can't like concentrate. Other times it's a physical sensation. They know when they're fragmented in multiple dimensions. And these are, of course, the most sensitive of the sensitives we're talking about. So we have actually found ways that we can do what's called dimensional synchronization. You can check your bodies, physical, mental, emotional, spiritual, energetic, and make sure that they're all resonating at the same dimension. So generally, we're going from the 4th to 5th dimension. Some of you might still be stuck in the 3rd. So, and that's fine, but you want all parts of your body to be resonating in the same dimension. So everything's talking to everybody else, right? And same thing with each body, and physical, mental, emotional, spiritual, energetic, dimensional. all of them now synchronized into a singular dimension. So kind of complex stuff, but if you're at that point in your master classes and you're doing really good on your divine muscle testing, then you can test this on yourself if there's any part of you that is experiencing dimensional dissonance. And why does this happen to people? Well, oftentimes it's because they walk into an area that has had ET activity. Like if a ship lands or ETs have come through a portal, something like that. If it's in the home, if it's in some place where humans will walk, it can literally be like walking through a cavern of funky, multi-dimensional energies, and your body's like, whoa, because it can't quite compute. And that's what happened to these servers in 2017, at least from my point of view, is literally they were blasted, with this dimensional disruptor, I'll say. And the servers are just like shocked. It's like, what do I do now? So what we did was we actually repaired that. So we actually, created the dimensional synchronization again, got rid of the blaster. I'll call it a blaster. Piece of equipment, whatever, dismantled all that, and I surely expected everything to go back to normal the next day, which it did. So that's a little extra about dimensional dissonance. It's been happening here or there, but that can have some pretty weird symptoms when that happens. Okay, so let's see, what news do I have for you? A couple things. Let's see if I wrote these down. Okay, so number one, Monday's show, radio show at 12 noon on Monday the 23rd, I will be doing mini healings and mini scans. So we are going to be talking about detox and sick symptoms, what that's like. Because some people have no idea when they're in detox mode and what that means versus when they're sick versus when they're healing. It's like, let's see, when I'm healing, I feel just as bad as when I'm not healing. So how do I tell the difference? So I'm gonna help you with some of those things. So if you are suffering some flu symptoms or what seemingly are allergies or autoimmunity or something where your detox organs maybe are overwhelmed, we'll talk a little bit about, detox organs and what they mean. We can do some checkups for you. We can check and ask, how happy is your liver? How happy is your lymphatic system, etc. We can check, is your tiredness, is that because you're in healing mode, which is parasympathetic, which is a good thing, or is it because you're in stress mode and you've just exhausted all your chi? That is a bad thing. So if you've exhausted all your energy. And also too, if I have been doing hundreds of soul typings on the From Heartache to Joy Facebook community. I still have hundreds to do. So thank you for being patient if you're one of them and put your name on the list. But if you do call in and we pick you, you can certainly have me check your soul typing as well. So if you're curious about, if you're a sensitive soul and you're curious about whether you really are an earth angel or an indigo soul or crystal, or whether you're a hybrid or a star seed, we won't go into great detail about what star system you're from and that kind of stuff. That's better handled by other people that specifically work with different species of ETs. But what I can tell you is whether that soul has had lives as a light being or an embodied extraterrestrial, meaning that they have had a body. So if you're like, reptilian or mantis or, some that has a form, we can tell you that. So we can do these mini readings and healings and soul typings for you if you'd like. So call into Monday's show. Just get on the mailing list at KarenCan.com. And my assistant Anna will send you the email Sunday night with the link and the phone call in number. So you can raise your hand. We can't take everybody because I know every month we do these free mini healings. So we're going to ask Source what's for the highest and greatest good. So can't hurt though to ask. So we're going to have the chat going. You're going to be able to raise your hand and ask some questions. Last thing I want to share with you is the Light Warrior Advanced Healing Program. We launched that on May 7th. It is still open for people that are interested. Folks that are waiting for their soul typing, that's perfectly fine. We can read you and see which one's best for you. I just wanted to share that the new version of this, the repackaged version of package B and C, now not only include my, that's the emotion code guide, sorry, my Topican healing guides 1, 2, and 3, where you can divine muscle test what's going on, what's causing, whether it's positive energies you need, negative energies to be taken away, or do you really need to know more about your soul mission? So not only will these guides be available, but package B and C are actually going to get the growing library of the Tolpacan guides training videos, meaning that for every box in here we do a little training video to show you what these mean, because there's a lot of information here, and those that are practitioners will probably know about 80%, but those that are not practitioners might not. And certainly the spiritual stuff is pretty weird woo-woo stuff, so we want to explain what all those terminologies mean to you. So in the new program that was just launched, we will include the training on the guides. Now, of course, if you're already part of the master classes, the monthly Light Warrior Revolution, and you've paying that monthly membership, you will already have access to the growing library. Now, it's going to take me a while to get through all these boxes because there's one video per box, so we counted about 75 or so. So it's going to take me a while to get through them. So we're populating the student portal little by little over time. And so hopefully by the end of the year, we will have, the whole gamut of all the videos. Yeah, that's a lot of video. That's a lot of training. But if you're up for it and you really want to know what's going on and you really want to do what I do for yourself, for your family, loved ones, clients, whatever, I'd love that, because my big thing is empowering you to do all this stuff. And it's not about me doing it. It's about you being able to do it. And yes, I mean, I get, these big, huge healings that I get to do for the whole world and everything like that. And it may or may not be part of your journey or part of your soul's mission. But I get so, so excited when my students and clients have success on their own by learning the Tolpacan healing method. Okay, guys. So I look forward to connecting more with you. Join me on the Light Warrior Network on Facebook. That is a group that is open to people that have purchased programs from me and have not, who just want to check it out, the group, and to get some support from myself and the other members of the group. So Light Warrior Network, check that out on Facebook. And if you're a YouTube person, go ahead and hit subscribe so you get alerted every time we have a new spiritual medicine digest. And I will talk to you soon. Lots of love.